Well, greetings, hello, and welcome to our live stream. This is live stream number 6 of our series. That's kind of crazy to think about, eh? And how that's been, like, episodic. What would that make it? It's like 2 episodes per, no, 4. 4 per stream, roughly. We were doing about 30 minutes before. That's cool. That would be many episodes in on a Let's Play series. That's kind of cool. I'm proud of what we have. This is, like, nifty to look at, eh? Pipster, hello. Steven, hello. Good to have you with us. Thanks for coming on in. I like this game. It's good to see this game get a like a second win. You know, the old up and coming. Nice to look at. So we got a lot on the docket for today. We have like 17 different like projects, builds, at least 25 different ideas that we're thinking about implementing. There's lots to do. But some of the major highlights are the downtown little highway end cap. Gorgeous. I love it. The diverging diamond, all of this is like evolved so wonderfully. The very start of the Porter Washington Parkway. That's cool. That is really cool. Some industry, some mountains. Eventually a seaport. Ah, MSG, what's up, dude? Welcome in. And then the wild downtown, eh? Our campus with some transit. Really cool. The old dock. So, I mean, a lot to do. Some stuff, though, we want to make sure we're not getting too far behind on is rail. I keep talking about how rail just, like, should not be the afterthought, and it's already looking like, well, how are you going to fit that downtown? Maybe an elevated corridor. Dashery, hello there. Welcome in. Oh, Pipster, honestly, if I could, I would. To pay forward the generosity you have paid me, you know? I would be honored if I was able to. All right, well, let's jump in with some rail. That might be pretty ambitious, and it's going to require us buying some tiles. But I kind of feel like to help with the cost of the tiles, maybe a little bit of farming and some industrial pockets through here. Connect more of this region together. Oh, we got some new updates, too, from Iceflake, eh? There's some good stuff on the horizon. All right, well, for the trains to function, we do need to first put down our depot, which is a massive undertaking. And that in itself actually could fit over here, eh? We do want some rails going up and down this corridor. Yeah, there's a... Oh, gosh. There's like a word of the week or whatever they're calling it now. Like in the dev diary. A massive amount of updates are coming. Performance, benchmarking. They'll have a benchmark test built into the game soon. Like how citizens interact with the region. That's gonna be pretty wild. Oh, I've been really busy. Why the switch? Oh, no switch. We're just doing YouTube alongside now. So Tuesdays and Fridays, come join us over here for a bit of a calmer, different feel. And then Twitch just on the rest of the time. But we'll scale back the Twitch to make some more long-form videos here. All right, well, let's try it. We've got so much on the go, but let's just try something here. So I'll throw in a little bit of industrial stuff. This could be another forestry area with some, oh gosh, what could we do in here, eh? Oh, like farming and stuff, I guess. And I think this is going to just make its way down here, kind of following the profile of the highway. All right, we're jumping in. Perfect. I keep forgetting to toggle this one, but I like having the constant slope. It's really handy. We were on a pretty flat map, but we did kind of build this out, so... Some help along the grid lines, you know? Yeah, I feel like we're very overdue for YouTube content, just in general, right? So... I find it very easy to live stream, very fun. It's nice to have some back and forth sometimes, too. Does that want to go 180? John, Mary, hello, welcome in. How are we doing today? Whether that's the correct slope or not, or angle, is a little bit irrelevant. We're just trying to avoid the hill, I think, here. I don't want to get so attached to, like, just perfectly straight lines, especially in the outskirts. I feel like I struggle still a bit with trying to, like, end the city. Like, the transition. That's not correct. How do you scale down, right? How do you reach the region and make it feel kind of like convincing, especially for cities too? Just fitted a new dishwasher. Ooh. Is it going to have internet? You can play Scrabble and stuff on it? No, can't do dishes today. We're doing a firmware update. Oh. What a weird time, eh? Why does your dishwasher have to talk to the internet? Oh, so you know when it's done. Oh, okay. That's kind of cute. And so let's say the reason for this having to go a little bit on the meandering wide side is we had a nice big old farm right here. That's cool. Oh, you know what we could do too, eh? This can be set up anywhere, correct? We can put down one of the signature buildings. Make this like a big old farm. It's fully internet connected. I was literally making a joke, eh? Oh my days. I mean, does it need to be, though? You know, the only thing I could think of that would be kind of amusing is if it had, like, a live camera from the inside. You know, that would be entertaining, right? Holy moly, that is a big farm. Yeah, it's cool. Let's do a little skinny, like, side road going around it, and then let's do a tree break if we can. And then a little bit of industry, maybe supporting the farm here. And this kind of stuff shouldn't take us too long. Famous last words. There's so much to do right now, eh? Did you get your ship last night? No, not even close. I'm still building out my starter house, eh? In Windrose. That game, it feels like many things, but it doesn't feel like an actual pirate game, though. I feel like I'm playing a different take on The Sims. Alright, I imagine these two roads would want to either connect or, like, one day, once upon a time, were connected. Why don't we bring those together? I did spend, like, half our money already on tiles, so we got to be careful, but I would like to buy some more tiles. And this is, in theory, going to bring up the revenue enough to kind of, like, cover the cost of all this. But these tiles were very expensive, so I'm kind of thinking there actually might be a another set of resources in here that we're missing. No, it was just the cost was associated with the farming. Oh, okay. Well, that stuff can be set up anywhere. So why don't we use the ones that require the fertile land? Fertile? English is so weird like that, eh? The potato, tomato, right? Are you fertile or fertile? Oh, God, don't say that. We'll just respect the tile for the moment. But, of course, with our anarchy, we can go anywhere we want. Oh, actually, you know what we could do? Maybe that little side road goes into the farm. Yeah, let's scale that down. Cute. And then a little bit of industry, or maybe some shopping even, eh? I think the stretch goal for out here would be, like, make this feel like it was one of the small suburbs, or happen to have, like, a small little farming village. People gotta live somewhere, right? Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, MSG, having anarchy on makes me feel like I'm breaking the rules, and yet I'm the one that put anarchy on. So I'm trying to, like, gently use it as an aid and not just, like, a, you know, like a cheat code mod. But it is nice just to be an absolute bad boy and just do that, you know? But I feel like we're kind of, like, you know, not playing the game at the same time, right? I don't know. This is a weird one here. We are trying to city paint and enjoy the vibe, but I want to play this kind of like how the game's somewhat supposed to be intended. I am just of the thought that anarchy should exist in vanilla. It's such a handy thing to have. Especially for, like, saving time. All right, so this road, I would guarantee you every day of the week would want to talk to the highway road. Yep, I agree with that. Let's bring these two together. Cool. I'm actually going to get rid of that one. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Yeah, it's nifty, eh? I wish we could do something about the fact that this is just like plain old green. I don't think we can even use anarchy. I think I've tried this before too. It's funny how your brain just sometimes goes in a circle, eh? Oh, no. Can you plant trees? No. That is breaking all the rules. I did not realize that. Huh. Huh. Now this feels illegal.
Here's another song for you, and this is, as you know, synth and steel.
Interesting. Okay, we'll keep on pushing down. Let's buy some tiles. And then, if we can, let's simultaneously try to get the rail going through here. Because we said we wanted a rail corridor along this pocket. We want that rail, I think, to have a little interchange and talk to, like, the corridor that's going to go on this part of the city. And then we still want old waterfront access. Change this here. Alright, cute. It's just holy moly, eh? I know, it's so much stuff. It's so expensive, all this stuff, too, right? Yeah, but let's just do it. So, rail. We'll put that on, say, like... It's gotta make sense, because I don't want to disrupt that interchange too much. And I don't know if we're going to be on the inside or the outside, or whatever we want to call that. Because we could gently go... like a slight trench underneath this one, and then just kind of go underneath this guy here. The city, honestly, is coming along nicely. I'm pleasantly surprised at how much we've done in such a short period of time. Okay, let's give ourselves a bit of room, but we'll put that in right here. Free speed, please. You got it. Yeah, one of the main changes coming with the next update is citizens aren't going to be using taxi cabs to go in and out of the region, which is going to make the roads a little bit happier. Keep some of those cabs just for the tourists.
This is an emergency broadcast to all
Oh, a
citizens.
tornado. Oh my god. If we had $1 for every tornado during this live stream series. MSG, have a great day at work, eh? Always appreciate you. And quite a few episodes of this to get caught up on, if that is up your alley. Yeah, that's not bad, eh? Just for merging these two together. And now that we have that unlocked, this grants us rail, which is what we're after. So we want a rail to be like the main line that goes past this. Yeah, how do we get that to convincingly feel... I love how ground crossings look, especially for, like, just out in the boonies, but it is such a traffic nightmare, isn't it? But how cool would it be to have... Oh, man, are you going to do it? I don't know. Well, like I said, we need to come in from that way and this way. Let's build the easier side first. That's cute as a regional connection. Yeah, and then that one... I'm not going to connect this line. I just want to see how the curve of it looks. Like, that would kind of go like that, basically. but then find like a gentler way. I'm gonna actually build it and then use that as a reference point. And then we're gonna sink it below. Oh, cool. Signature buildings are kind of fun. And as suspected, budget is doing very well. That's the darker color down there. That's representing the tile upkeep. That's very expensive. So if we're buying more tiles, we got to do stuff that's kind of like offsetting. So just 2 little farms right here. That'll help, but we'll want to add to that. As long as this budget is moving upward, I am very happy right now. Making that money. Money is important. A necessary evil, but who's going to pay our firemen and police officers and nurses, right? So we need cash money, baby. And lots of it. I wish this was transport fever. Like the M and N to go up and down. It's like, how do you actually do this, right? Well, let's just cheat, basically, right? So I'm going to trench this. So I need retaining walls. And then I'm going to add a small section. You know what we could do, actually, is if I reconnect that. And then I use the Move It mod to sync the pieces. I think the only thing I need to change is just that guy there then, eh? Because these are coming in as a bridge. This is what I mean about Anarchy being like a vanilla option. That would be really handy, right? So I can theoretically just grab the nodes and just pull that down. Oh, it's only 1 node. Oh, that's interesting. And we're just going to make sure that there's enough clearance for that. And then we're going to cut out ever so slightly a little coupe right here. Just coupe a little bit off the top, eh? And so that's going to be a bridge segment right there. Oh, a little bit over. That's okay. I really miss being able to press like left alt with the Move It mod and then like line that up perfectly, but I'll take what I can get. I still have a little bit of admin stuff I want to do. I haven't set up the alert to show up on stream yet. Not expecting anyone, of course, to donate or anything, but if we do happen to get one today, that's still, I just thought of that right now. Always so much to juggle, eh? That looks cool. That's a silly thing about this game. So the power line, a little bit clippy. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Are you playing Winrose? Okay, so that doesn't need to be a connection. And then we're so close to that, eh? But I like how that curves, though. Yeah. And then, in theory, a little cutout like that would look kind of cool. So let's try that again. And so we're just adding some anchor points. We have new nodes to talk to. Oh, this is quite a few different things coming in, eh? Why don't you do that part first? That's cool. And then that part second? Oh, heaven. How do we even, Okay, let's try that part. And then that portion. And then I've unfortunately done something here that the game doesn't like, eh? Yeah, our game is quite good. Do you have a ship of your own? All right, well, talk to me about what you need here, eh? Not quite sure why that's being so frustrated. Let's try, it's maybe where that node is the issue. I'm not sure if the rails have an effect on it, but it could be. So let's push that back slightly. Got a ship a couple days ago. Is it worth? It's fun to keep on pushing? Because I do feel like I'm playing like pirate sims on the beach, and the game's trying to be many things, but it doesn't really feel like an arcade pirate game to me, you know? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's like there's... Yeah, okay. I understand. These are the downsides to... I almost said these are the days of our lives. These are the days of our lives. So these are the downsides to using Anarchy. Sometimes the nodes just get a little bit, like, confused with one another. And I say this often, too. It's not really, like, a bad thing or a good thing. It just kind of is, I think. But it doesn't really matter if you're using mods or vanilla. It just seems like you always need to take a few extra steps when you're doing, like, anything in Skylines 2. I don't know what's up with that, eh? It's very challenging to get kind of like the right flow and angle and all that just on their first attempt. That's a little bit off too. Can that be... Maybe it's that back node that needs to come up a bit. Yeah, there you go. Kind of crazy to think that someone's getting paid probably more money than all of us combined, eh? Just to think this stuff up in real life. Alright, so that's bridge. But we know Porter Washington Parkway. That's a pretty big staple in our city's landscape. Yeah, see, that's not really what we're after, is it? So how do you fix that? Why don't we try a 3-lane? We're aiming that way with the extra lane, sure. But then, you know, like, are you playing this game to be in a rush, right? That's another ongoing theme. They joke that, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and Rome is still under construction, as far as I know. Okay. That looks like the angle. And we can move that gently over, so that gets pulled back. That angle gets fixed. And so now that that's a better anchor point, we can redo that segment. This is kind of what I mean, right? Like, all of this just takes like 2 or 3 extra steps. And I just can't make up my mind if this is like, you know, peaceful meditation. You're like raking the sand in your, you know, little feng shui garden. Or is this like just nails on a chalkboard? I don't know, eh?
We're live, and we're getting reports about a traffic accident.
All right, so this one here can have the retaining wall.
In the city.
Road maintenance services have already
No, it's just,
dispatched.
it's fun, but it's a bit more of a pirate-flavored Valheim. I got more Viking stuff right off the get-go with Valheim, though. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it properly. I just feel like Windrose is trying to be a lot of stuff to please a lot of people. Yeah, that looks good.
Industry in the region is
That looks good. The curve looks natural, too.
and business is doing well. That floats our boat.
There's no sinking this.
And then maybe when like this was upgraded and built, it was just a gentle dip of the rails. Because in real life, you know, trains don't like changing height elevation too much, too often, too quickly. That ends up just being a very big waste of their, like, you know, potential energy or whatever, you know, the kinetic energy or whatever math, you know. I need a single track there, bud. And so it makes sense for the trains to kind of seem like they were there first. Trains are relatively old compared to some of this other infrastructure. Relative is a relative term for anyone from Europe being like, oh, old infrastructure, eh? Hi, the well on my property is older than your country. Oh, that's true. And then, not to be broken record, but, you know, the goal is really to tell the story when we're making these city building kind of games feel real. And our story is, like, we had some stagecoaching, and then we had rails come. So rails would be pretty old. All these fancy new interchanges and roads and stuff we built, they'd come after. And the more real and the more of the story we believe ourselves, the more we're going to want to work on this. If we do something that dramatically alters the story or just changes the vibe, that's when you're like, I got to restart the city, dude. I don't like this anymore. It's a weird feeling. Get the ick, you know? Suddenly something happens in your city and you're like, no. No. But then you're armed with knowledge on the restart. So the restart is kind of fun sometimes, but at some point you just got to stop restarting and start living your life, right? Okay, so that's not in our tile boundary here. If we are going for, in air quotes, the realism. Oh, before I press play, let's make sure everyone here is happy. Nope, we're missing one connection. But we need some money again here. And so that one, go to here, and then bridge, and then go there. Perfect. And then did you keep the nodes? You did, thanks. All right, so a little bit of height adjustment here still, and then we'll pull that in. Oh, that's cool how it does the little cut there. Yeah, I like that. And then that's that node. Yes, yes. So just until we see the power line. Your catenary overhead cables, those disappear. That looks good. Trains can flow through. And then let's do this to help with the terrain. Bada bing. Oopsies. Did I say bada bing, bada boom, and you didn't answer? Ah, okay. Drogon! We're just talking about that too, eh? What's up, man? Yeah, Pipster's playing right now. I did, eh? I'd like to return to it. I was just saying, though, it doesn't really feel like a pirate game. I feel like I was kind of playing like The Sims, but like, you know, pirate themed. But not even, right? It just feels like a colonial adventure game that has piracy adjacent. Oh, that is much better. I fear that that's not long enough, though, eh? For a an entry track. But I like how that curves. I almost want to push that down a little bit further if we buy the tiles. It is fun. No, it definitely is fun. Yeah, once you get a boat and clothes that are more piratey. Yeah, but that takes you, like, too long, though, for, like, you know... It's supposed to be, like, an arcadey action-adventure pirate game. And yet they, like, you know, take you a weird way around the block first, right? 600,000. That is incredibly costly. So, put that on hold for 1 second. Continue over here. We have a bit of demand here, too, for some industry. And our little goal was... like kind of like a farm in town kind of feel right there. Drogon! Drogon, thank you kindly. I haven't, I was just mentioning, I haven't put the on-stream pop-up yet. That's cool. Thank you, dude. I forgot I set up those alerts. They were just like audio alerts, but I never did the second part. That's cool. Thanks, man. You get a badge next to your name now, too. Helps the channel. Smiles on the faces, and we appreciate that. No, it's got to make you work for it. It is a survival game. Yeah, no, I get that. I don't know. I just don't really get pirate stuff from it is all, you know? We'll still play it. We have some unfinished business, it feels. Now, downside to us adding just like a little bit of like town stuff over here is we then need to start worrying about like the services for said town. So this could be like a small rabbit hole we've just opened that could maybe take our attention a little bit away, but... hang on here. I want these all to be on the same side. Definitely wouldn't be an Imperial Jedi attempt at Skylines if we weren't entirely all over the place, right? Exactly. Okay, so that is a cute idea if we can promote like small town living in here. Keep the industrial pocket. And we're very lucky because of the way the wind is going. We shouldn't really be affecting our friends right here. And are these little trees... Yeah, it's so cool. We can grow trees on the outside, eh? And how are the precious kitties doing? They're doing quite well. And then Panda's in the office today. Just doing a bit better. Still needs a few more days for recovery, but off to the office today? I appreciate you asking. And then that one lines up with that one. Perfect. That's cool. It's starting to fill in nicely, eh? I was expecting us, to be honest, like over here. I don't know. I start these ideas in my head as to how, like, you know, the episode or the stream is going to go. And then it's sometimes fun, the tangents we take, eh? The stuff you don't really plan for. It just feels like it needs to be done in the heat of the moment. I like that. Okay, so I want to keep a bit of space from the highway here. I've been debating the LASIK surgery. I got time. My optometrist appointment is until August. I'll probably get it done this fall. I feel like everyone I've talked to who has done it has been very happy. I have this, like, inherent fear that I will be the 1 in a million. Where it's just like, the doctor says, like, oops. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, what did you just say? Oh, nothing. And you're like, what? But it's a very, like, successful surgery. It's a very, like, huge quality of life if it's successful, you know? And it has high success rates. So I feel like those are two... Why not? You know what I mean? All right, so I'll need just a little triangle about or something here, eh? That's cute. I think you could still turn left here comfortably if you were a truck, but signature building. Signature buildings are cool. I like trying to unlock those. Kind of like a fun little mini game. No, I think for option's sake, let's do this. Yeah. Again, not too bad, not too bad. Not chasing perfect symmetry, but we should be a bit blocky out here. And this can be some forestry with a little bit of industry along it too. And maybe sneak one more farm. And then we got to put in the brakes. We're just about at enough money here for the next tile set. And we'll push the rails a bit further in, eh? I'm happy that hearing aids are going to be cheaper than I thought. Is there something you can do for, like, grant or, like, you know, there's got to be some kind of, like, some company, you know, you'll try an experimental one or something, right? It seems like a very high cost to pass on to the consumer. When that, too, is also just, like, astronomical for quality of life. In ways that I can't even understand, you know what I mean? You only get $500 per year from the insurance. That doesn't seem like enough if you're paying into the insurance. Am I using mods? I have a few. The main ones are just Anarchy and the Move It mod. Then I have the Find It mod for convenience. And then I've got just a few custom assets so far, which are technically classified as mods, but I still kind of see the asset mod, like, difference. Oh, that did not work. But our goal is to kind of, like, see how the game feels. We've got some big updates from the new developer. If you haven't played it in, like, a while, like, is it easy to break back into? How much has the game actually changed since launch? So lightly modded, just to kind of learn a bit more. Oopsies. I think, though, as the series progresses, we are going to try some more modded content. Just a little bit outside the box thinking, too. I have some really cool ideas I want to implement from some of our older Let's Play series from, like, Cities 1 days. Okay. That should go over to there as a bridge, and then we should have one more little interchange here to help serve the small town.
Good morning, good day, good everything. This is James Fleming, and you're listening to the one and only radio station that covers the rural areas of our beautiful country.
Talk about the rural areas. That's us right now building a rural area. Bro, everything is
On to
scripted.
our main feature story. The commercial district is booming as the area is attracting more high-end stores, bringing the latest in luxury to our neighborhood.
Stark, what's up, dude?
Now shop for designer shoes while sipping a fancy local Jarva mate.
How's she going? Welcome in.
My wife tells me.
Let's leave some room in between for the tree break. That looks so, like, natural.
Thanks.
And then maybe a dirt road in between that, too, even.
We're live, and we're getting reports about a traffic accident somewhere.
Yeah, I have a few, too.
in the city.
Like the mods that
Road
give me
maintenance
data about the
is
city. Is that the one that's,
and
by
traffic
Brucey?
should return to normal. But if you're planning
Brucey
to
makes cool
travel,
mods. I had that one for a while. I scaled back some of the mods, though, because I ran into some conflicts.
You already know about it. No use reminding you. Meanwhile, expect delays and drive safe.
Looking like a wet one today. I'm gonna keep dry and stay inside. Local weather
I don't like how these transition. Like, I like the dirt roads to be a bit more prevalent out here, but they just don't quite do it for me. Like that one just, that wasn't it, you know? That's better. Compared to what it was before. Then I can anarchy some trees in. Friends, wherever you're watching, I appreciate you checking out the video, or the stream, or the VOD, or whatever you want to call it. Nice to have you here with us, one way or another, in the future or in the present. I like that. What else you got over here? Cereal mill. That's cool. That ties in very nicely with our farm vibes.
To all citizens.
A heavy
That's
storm
cool.
is approaching the city, and the likelihood of hail is
And then,
very
oh
high.
gosh, do we
Traffic
do?
slowdowns and
We
roads
might.
across
Do we
and
do a
up
small cargo station here? I think we need to,
Users
eh?
are advised to remain indoors
Oh,
until the
heaven.
situation passes.
So that means you go across the highway to load stuff onto a train over here? Get some milk. Is there livestock processing facility? This is, I think, something to do with milk. Now this is a, I believe, opportunity for a custom asset if we happen to have a nice one downloaded. I think I grabbed some train stations, but they're only, none of them are cargo. Yeah, it's a vanilla. I'd like a small little, like, rural industrial station here. Yeah, not quite, eh? Cargo transfer? No, that's cool. They're just, like, a little bit too big for what we're trying to put in over here, though. But I think, like, a local train station, just to get, like, you know, a train vibe going through here. Got enough room for the road. I'm not going to expand on this, so I wonder if this can overlap, or if there's, like, trees or assets that are going to be an issue. No, I think that's just kind of set if we wanted to add more tracks to it, maybe. Even then, I don't think we're having problems with that. That's cool. So we can do, like, make-believe and pretend that this is a little cargo depot next to the rail. And I think I want to push that down a little bit, just so I don't lose track of that thought. Train pun track. And then that makes that, like, inner arm look a little bit more convincing. Oh, cool. An energy drink bottling plant. Huh. That's an interesting. All right, there's 600,000 for that. Just keep an eye on our tile upkeep creeping up, but we're still in the green. We saw that jump down, but enough that I'm not too worried. Okay, so... And then also, just in regards to the mods, mods do have a tendency to break the game. And the game feels like it's in a very wild state of flux right now with the new devs making, you know, a lot of content pushes. I think we're going to be seeing updates like roughly like once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, I think is the goal. Your stream isn't showing that you're playing CS2. Oh, what game does it show? I don't really know how to like do much stuff in the heat of the moment, Drogan. It's always fun when people show up, but I'm kind of making these as like you can watch it at your own pace, and then when it's done, I put like a thumbnail and stuff. If it just says Steam? Steam what? Like Steam Trains? Like, I don't even know how to change that. You know what I mean? Okay, not to make too much of a mess of that trench, but I have a few things on my admin task list to make the stream a little bit more like, you know, functional in air quotes. Oh, in Steam. Oh, no, that's intentional. Yeah, I shouldn't even be online on Steam. That is very intentional. No, I almost got into massive trouble with that. So City Skylines 2, I can say this now because the NDA is like lifted for it, but the game came out for content creators to try in a very early access format in 2021. So July 2021, during the pandemic, we got a playable version of City Skylines 2, but it was under the code name Project Beverly Hills. I remember one time I was like, you know, online on Steam or something, and it like showed that, and I was like sick to my stomach because it was like, you know, potentially getting into breaching NDA territory, right? So it was very like sweaty feeling for a second. So I just permanently put it on lockdown. And also too, like I would just have it like show what I was playing, and people would just message being like, oh, are you gonna record a video? Are you gonna try that? It was very, very alpha at the time, but it was enough to kind of like, you know, you knew what was coming, basically. I'm not really convinced that this makes sense to me, eh? The train station like that. I think if we're doing our small town, the train station would be on the other side just for convenience, and the highway would run along that. And that doesn't quite look right, and I'm going to put a bit more tracks there. I am sometimes the, like, I gotta see it and then see if it works kind of player approach. It just didn't quite feel right. Or we have a, like, you know, a junction and then we go inwards like that with a little triangle, right? How do you feel about streaming on YouTube? I don't mind it at all. I don't really know enough about it. And Kylo, hello. I'm trying to make the streams feel different enough that, like, maybe the YouTube stream appeals to a different group, you know? The Twitch streams are always going to be chaos, and I don't want to scale those back, but that chaos isn't for everyone. Otherwise, I don't mind it here at all. I just see these as kind of like, you know, if you're here for, you know, when it's live, that's kind of a fun bonus. Otherwise, I make these for the long haul. Yang, what up, dude? How could that have been possible if they were still working on City Skylines back then? What do you mean, eh? Oh, rail maintenance depot. Well, that's what the that's what this thing is, eh? That's our depot right there. That's already down. I don't think that's in a bad spot, especially how that kind of like looks zoomed out. I think I need to put some more tracks in there to make this feel like an industrial. But then I don't know. I'm going in a circle. More tracks, industry. Oh dear. No. That is, yeah. No. Okay, I'm with you. So a cargo, son of a gun. I just wish for a small cargo station. I've gone in a circle here, but this is the terminus. I'm going to pop that in over here and to see how this wants to start looking and feeling. And then we learned about the existence of City Skylines 2 when we were at PDXCon. And it was the last live event they did for the PDXCon, and that was in Berlin, and that was just before pandemic. So 2020 is when we like intellectually all got like confirmation that they were making the product. Everyone assumed they were at the time, though. Oh, the road maintenance, yeah, that one too, eh? That will probably end up over here. We'll get a few buildings. They look good. They look good as a transition from industry to city as well. I think no matter what happens with the outcome of this. At some point, we do need to start shifting attention to the port and to the downtown, just so we don't lose track of our plot here. It was very, like, challenging and fun, though, to try to keep the secret. Because everyone's just guessing, hi, do you know anything about Cities 2? And we're like, no. But, like, meanwhile, I'll, like, you know, tab out and just play it. Okay, we're starting to get there. I'm not really sold on that anymore, though. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Making a rush makes you make a mistake. Out of curiosity, actually, just to be a little bit different right here, what if that one curved into here? And Qualia, I hope you're having a great day, eh? Kylo, I think I'm going to continue the streams, though. And then I'm going to start putting in some, like, long-form, like, pre-recorded content alongside to help, like, supplement it. But I do like the idea of just having a bit of variety. And I think, like, you know, mental peace of mind, these are very, you know, just chill, easy streams to kind of, like, work on and produce, right? Oh golly, I just like seeing when there's like 100 different tracks. Like in, you know, in real life rail yards, there's like so much shunting and, like, you know, side tracks, and you have like some engines parked and just a whole bunch of like stuff happening. How do we like replay that or like redo that convincingly in Skylines? A sports bar, cool. Just rock and roll with signature buildings as we go, eh?
Good trading, fellow listeners. This is your host, James Fleming. And you're listening to, that's right, Synth and Steel Radio.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when business...
Because of you, I started playing Cities 1 again. It's cool that there's some new content for Cities 1, eh?
We're live, and we're getting reports about a traffic accident.
Well, happy building.
Somewhere in the city.
Road maintenance services have already been dispatched, and traffic flow should return to normal. But if you're planning a quick trip out, you might want to wait a little while until everything clears up.
If you're in it, you already know about it. No use reminding.
Okay, so that one is going to come from here into that, running alongside that.
I'm gonna keep dry and stay inside. Local weather all day, every day.
And I feel like if ever you're stuck, Google Maps. I haven't really been doing too much Google mapping for this particular build, but I might do some offline research. Davis, hello there. There we go. No one will use these because it looks a little bit goof troop, but we're almost there. Almost there. And all of you, happy Friday, eh? Oh, that's nifty. That's cooler. Yeah. That looks a little bit better. When I'm playing games like Railroads Online, like the amount of overlapping... If I built a shunting yard in that game, you'd be like, what are you doing, dude? That might be a fun one to play on some streams at some point, eh? Nerd! Nerd, what's up? Welcome in, eh? Nerd, happy Friday. So their whole... they're more ploppable schools. A pool underground, garage transit vehicles. Yeah, that'd be cool. Car dealerships would be kind of cool. The warehousing, that would be nice too. That kind of works with the Bridges and Ports DLC when you build an actual port area. Functional car dealerships, though, would be kind of dorky. Like in a fun way, right? Like you produce the cars that you sell.
This program to bring you a special news bulletin.
Oh, heaven.
Radar readings indicate a tornado is approaching the
It's our
city.
second tornado today.
Citizens should seek immediate cover.
Yeah, see, that already looks a bit better. I just feel like I might move that a smidgen over just so the angle's a bit cleaner, though. I don't mean to be so indecisive. I just feel like I'm kind of like I was mentioning before. Like, I got to see if it sits correctly. And if it sits, it fits, it continues. If not, we're going to do a little bit of altering, but I don't want to feel like we're playing this in any kind of rush. I'm just consciously aware of the fact that, like, you know, we're doing this 2 hours at a time, and that's never enough. Never enough, eh? Marcus, what's going on Friday stream? We're just working a little bit over in our outskirts here. Unfortunately, neglecting the downtown, but going to switch over to that soon. I'm just trying to get a little bit more income coming in so we can afford some big projects. And that led me to, like, buying some tiles, trying to put some rail in. We've been forgetting to, you know, keep the rail as part of the main picture, right? So just gently expanding here. And then out of nowhere, we decided that we need a cute little small town kind of farming city here. So we'll work on that. And I don't know, dudes. I feel like this needs to be changed at some point because this is how the game RNGs your farm fields. Like, I want to place those down myself and make them make sense. This just seems kind of like... Have you played Train Sim World 26? I haven't tried it. I have a key for it, though, from the developers. I do like the idea of those games. I'm scared to, like, get, like, really into that game. Just because, boy howdy, that DLC gets expensive, eh? I do feel like I suffer from the problem of, like, I have too many games, not enough time. I'm almost, like, scared when a new game comes out that's, like, a bangarang. It's like, oh, God, no, please. And, like, Transport Fever 3, that is fast approaching. I believe there's going to be some public betas or a little bit more, like, info for May. I think I heard that somewhere. The DLC for Train Sim World is on Humble Bundle discount. Oh, okay. So instead of $6,000, it's only $4,000 to buy everything, eh? Oh, that's nice of them. Yeah, right. That's probably not too far off from the truth, though. Oh, television. Oh, that's cool. There we go. Gently adjust that. And before we commit, how does that curve feel? That curve feels a bit more plausible. And this is just supposed to be going from, like, our little pocket here, bringing the goods to the seaport. Trucks can help along with that, too. I think the campus should have all sports facilities in one area of property instead of being spread all over the place. And have a separate area for academics. That's kind of what we're doing, right? Yeah, football and... yeah, okay. I don't know. The football could get moved over to here, though. But imagine there's, like, a rivalry between, like, the football team and the football team. You know, who's the real football team? Like, hey, we are, you know, I think it's called soccer. We'll see how it goes, though. But that could also be a spot for a custom asset or two, right? I just don't mean to be so, like, bogged down in this, but we'll speed ahead over here, eh? But if you guys do have interest for train content on this channel, I would be as pleased as punch to introduce you to the train games I'm playing. Some you may know, some you may not. I think because I brought the rail over with the Anarchy, we're having that problem, but we can just do that. Let's get some nodes in the same spot if we can, and then redo that one. Perfect. No, it's like what is it? Dovetail, and then what is it? DCS World. Like, obviously, the cost of development is a real thing, but the DLC for those two titles is wild. But then if you're playing like hundreds of hours, like you can justify it. But I want that one to go like that. Yes, dude, that's cool. And then now that one goes over to here. Sure. Longer, smoother. And then if we can even connect down in there. Green, hey, what's up? I always start out with a roundabout, and then everything turns to hell. Oh my god. Roundabouts are superior. They're just not quite correct in the Cities 2 universe. I don't know what they've done to them, but I want them to be more like Dutch style, where there's like room for like a bicycle or like, you know, some pedestrians to kind of make their way through. Or give me like more yield control or something. They're really, really good. They just suffer from like, they can get, they can get bottlenecks so easily, right? Lower that, please. Yes. Shift terrain. Oh, shift terrain. Yeah, sorry. So a fun fact that you guys may or may not know, you can adjust the terrain, and it's going to adjust your walls there. So I'm going to right-click here to set the height, and then I'm going to slope this the whole way, and that'll help with like our retaining wall vibe. Push some of that back. Yeah, that's sharp. That's cool. And then I'm going to gently smooth that. And that looks cool, I think, eh? The trench opening. And then that one comes down a pinch right there, and then we're happy. I don't know if there's like a convincingly, you know, like sound, tested, tried and true method for starting a city in City Skylines 2 the same way that it was in Cities 1. You just get more money and more like possibilities. Yeah, that's cool, eh? I'm very happy with how that unfolded. And a broken record, but, you know, this took us longer than we wanted to, but that's okay. What is your hurry, man? I don't know, eh? Is this what puppies feel like when they just have to zoom all day? Yep. That looks good. And we want to start maybe curving that a bit so we're not, like, losing too much of the grid here. Jay Dizzle. What up, man? Okay. Now that's got to go down. Oh, boy. What are we doing with that, eh? I just realized that's going to start being a conflict, isn't it?
One and only radio station that covered the rural areas of our beautiful country. This is Synth and Steel Radio.
This is an emergency broadcast to all citizens.
I think that went through slowly.
A tornado currently heading towards the city. Extreme wind conditions.
This is tornado number 3 for those of you who are keeping track at home, eh? How much you're looking at here? $6.95. Okay.
There's no sinking this boat, Glenda. We're live, and we're
okay. Now, what is this stuff here? This is just generic.
Somewhere in the city.
Road maintenance services.
No, this is a gravity separation unit. These are signature buildings that you put down. Let's have the rail maybe come in a straight line through one of these portions. It could go underneath right there, trenching style. Did you see that they They did a redo of Assassin's Creed Black Flag? No, I never played that title, eh? Alright, so this will be for Harbor and Port, but I need to, like, unlock all that still, eh? There's a few random, like, big name franchises that I just somehow have not dove into, like, this many years later. Welfare Office, very important. City Hall, absolutely. Police Headquarters, sure. And then someone suggested Prison on an Island, Alcatraz style. I love that as a thought. Well, maybe we'll spend our last 2 points on a hospital here. But another milestone should be grabbed soon. So they just, what, did a remaster of it? Could go around the buildings. Yeah, I want to, like, the rail, though, just, it should seem like it was there before the buildings were. What are we looking for here? Oh, yeah, training him. I feel like it would just go straight out into, like, a port that's kind of, like, you know, jetting out right here with, like, you know, build where the boat comes in and, like, terraform that. It's either that or, like, down here is the port and we do this. No, it's a remake, not a remaster. Why remake it then? Where they're, like, you know, like, taboo subjects? Ooh, no, we can't talk about that, you know? Yeah, I didn't either, but people say that there are similarities with Windrose. I would take Assassin's Creed to the desert island over Windrose just based on, like, what I'm looking at. And I think, like, people use Assassin's Creed as, like, a teaching guide for, like, you know, some of the old, like, Egyptian stuff or whatever it is. Or whatever I'm trying to say, the old Roman stuff. Nay, hello, welcome in. Nay, big progress indeed, eh? I don't know. I don't mind that. You gotta think about that. And we also need to think about, like, where is our downtown Terminus train station? That could be an influential play as well in how we're bringing the rail in. Border crossing, that'd be kind of nifty. You can simulate one with some assets, I'm sure. You're kind of getting a border crossing if you think about it that way from, like, the region. May, how are you doing today? Yeah, I was picturing, like, along the Magic Roundabout, more of, like, the government, downtown, city hall, like, origin buildings. And then that might be where we can sneak in a Terminus station. I have a cutesy one here. It's a Deutsche Bahn one. And that wouldn't be terrible as a Terminus station. That'd be so wild down the middle. Well, I don't know about that. That'd be kind of wild, though, but... How would that look, just out of sheer curiosity? No, I think the Terminus would want to be, like, right at the end, and we have a station in between. That's a pretty common thing. I just yearn for more, like, vanilla buildings to help out with this, and I'm knowing Paradox, especially with their DLC model, they might be intentionally holding back some of this to either, like, you know, help promote the workshop. That could be a nice one. Or maybe they have DLC in mind. They might have some DLC in mind, eh? PDX Moz has small raised... Yeah, dude. Yeah, they do. Yeah, I have, like I said, I have a few things from the workshop here. If you see that, like, half black, half green kind of yin-yang logo with the Paradox thing in it, that's from the workshop. You fixed the base game first. Oh, my goodness, all right? I'm not the reason why this game isn't working, okay? I'm trying to have fun. How dare you? No, there is, if you haven't already read it, I really do recommend checking out the last, like, dev diary from Iceflake. And they have Toady doing the shorts for social media, which is kind of cool. But The next big thing they are going to try to tackle is performance. And if you can nail performance, you can start adding so much more stuff to the game comfortably. So I think we're about to have kind of like, you know, a revolution here. Okay. There's a chance that this could have been an elevated rail corridor, so I want to see how that looks. And we're suddenly just shifting into downtown. I like that, eh? But I think the rails as a whole are kind of like an important thing right here, eh? What DLC do you think they might be planning? I'm kind of hoping for like a repeat of some of the big ones from Cities 1. Like a Park Life DLC would be fantastic. Like proper campuses, I'd absolutely love that. Some kind of like, you know, an industrial... Like the Industries DLC was probably like one of the best little mini games they added to the main game. And they have a certain extent that, again, in this with the signature buildings, but it's not quite the same.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Radar readings indicate a tornado.
Is this
approaching the city.
another tornado?
Citizens should seek immediate
Are
cover.
you? Oh my days. Huh. Well, at least it's a water spout this time, sort of, eh? Do you guys have any thoughts on what you'd like to see as DLC? And I don't know if it could be DLC, but it would be like the wildest thing ever if they somehow had like, you know, the ability to start in like the 1800s. Imagine that as a DLC. How that would work, I'm not really sure though. Wish the base game had that. That's Transport Fever basically, right? These are the asks I'm hoping for with that. No, I meant, what DLC do you think they might be planning on adding that City Skylines never had? That's a good question, eh? They covered just so much in the first one. It's such a, yeah, I don't know, eh? Yeah, the first one had monorails. First one had cable cars. First one had, like, you know, the airports and stuff. Gosh, I don't know. Why is that only a single track? Oh, that's a good question, too. Well, I don't think that's a terrible size and look for what we're doing here, especially if we pocket this with a transit depot. I don't know, it's a very good question. I don't know if I have a real answer. I almost don't even know what I'd like to see out of this game that wouldn't have already like been in one. I'm just kind of hoping for like a better vanilla experience with some of the mods maybe coming, but I don't know, eh? Please don't give me like a data center or some AI job revolution, right? Oh my days. Okay, so this is not going to stay. That's going to be now potentially a different station. Midtown. As we kind of like go from one to the next. And then I didn't mean to, but this road here has a big, strong like directional push this way. But it unfortunately goes towards it like an interchange that it's very vanilla, obviously, because it is a vanilla interchange, but this eventually needs to be upgraded. And then do we, like, talk to that road? Huh. That's why the grid cities sometimes are, like, a little bit easier. If it's a true grid, it just literally builds itself. That's too expensive to buy all those right now. But I'm going to have to buy, I think, these two to help with our train stuff. A little bit unorthodox, the manner and the order in which we're building this stuff, but we're going to get there in the end. Yeah, so that guy coming further down. Well, that is a City Skylines interchange. They're so vanilla. It's not a bad interchange. It just doesn't scale for volume correctly, and we've already had to make like one little adjustment with an extra lane. And it looks a little bit squiggly. A highway expansion could be cool. Much better intersections and highway options. I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that, man. Like, my problem right now with a lot of this stuff is, what if I wanted this bridge But if I want it with a highway road, how would I do that, right? So I feel like the game should give you the option of like another tab over here where you just click and you get like a base road. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'd like that to be on top. And you're like, okay. But then I want it to be highway speed. And it's like, okay. And then I can pick like the under. What if I really wanted, you know, like that under trestle with this over deck as a team or that, right? I feel like that's something that I think they missed the boat on a bit there. Modular road building, modular bridge building, that would have been kind of nifty, I think, eh? In CS1, the raised NYC-style subway tracks were really helpful. It's beautiful, too. Like, so many cities have elevated corridors. I think we should probably have an elevated corridor at this point. I'll try to get one that maybe follows at ground level right along the waterfront, but I think through the middle of the city, we just need to have one elevated corridor. What's kind of cool, too, is the city of Toronto, good old Toronto. They have the west rail path. West part of the city has elevated rail, and it was multiple tracks wide. And they took out one of the tracks, and they made it into this, like, Autobahn bicycle network. So you have this, like, elevated bicycle highway that runs along the rail that goes from, like, top to bottom of the city. And it's such a cool thought. And it'd be fun to maybe try that as an idea in this. I have some really cool, like, Toronto infrastructure ideas I want to recycle. You guys saw me do the King Street pilot project back in the day, too. That's a fun one. But yeah, definitely I would not be opposed to like a highway like overhaul or like DLC geared towards making highways a little bit more fun. That's a big central station. I see the station that's kind of like slightly on an angle though. Medium train station. That's a cute size actually. Very like traditional in its look. Like, you know, like Vancouver, Toronto, all those places, right? There's like one or two stops on the way to downtown, and then the downtown is like either you're passing through on the waterfront or it's your terminus station. Oh, this is a very cute one. That's also a really cute one, too. Yeah, just literally something like that, eh? I wonder if I just pop it down and then we start trying to like piece together some of the infrastructure alongside it. Yeah, I don't mind that, eh? Let's see if we can make that work. No, you know what? I lied. We're going to make that in line with this one, but we'll have it far enough out. I just feel like I'm a little bit indecisive today, like more so than usual. You know what I mean? It's like a drinking game out here, eh? All right, you got to take a nice big cold glass of water. Got to take a swig every time I back it up. You're like, oh, no, I don't want that, actually. And you're like, oh, God, please, dude. Hyperhidrosis right here. Almost. And that curve isn't going the way I want it to. Again, not that it's like, you know, being like self-critical or like good or bad or anything, but I feel like this is one of the differences between like, you know, CPP. I always love using him as an example. A trained city builder versus us who are just kind of cowboys trying to like wing it. It's fun seeing how we get there in the end. Like the ideas for like infrastructure and like, you know, what would make sense organically, what tells the story, how would it have been built, in what order. Every once in a while, just get to the same, you know, end story, but how you got there is different, which is cool. Trucking routes would be kind of fun, too. That's more like an Industries DLC thing, eh? Like, making supply chains make more sense, and then you can tie in warehouses to that. Okay, well, that's got to go stronger and cleaner in one of our angles here. This guy's going straight into the pier. Oh, you know what I probably would want then? Just symmetry. Oh, goodness, eh? If anyone just started playing that game, it's like, God, Jed, I've already had like 4 swigs of water here, eh? Make up your mind. Working on it. There we go. Well, the game just lets you YOLO that stuff. The only thing I can say for sure is, like, next week I won't tear all this up, you know what I mean? We'll keep this. There are, there's a supply chain content creator pack. Sure, you know what I mean, though, right? Like, Industries DLC in Cities 1 gave you a much cleaner picture, and you could put, like, warehousing right next to stuff that needed it, and they would store, and it was, like, a lot more logical. And you could kind of, like, understand the information being shown to you. Like, you'd know what to do with it more. Here, it's kind of like a crapshoot, right? Like, the production tab is a lot of things, but what am I looking at? Do you know what I mean? I just know that if you have too much red, that's no good. You want green. Green's good. Green's like domestic production. Red will be like your deficit for your import. So if you're paying to import a lot of stuff, that's expensive, so produce it domestically. But like a bit more semblance of order from this with a bit more control would be nice. Yeah, what is a supply chain pack? Maybe I don't have that, and I thought I did. You ever see those American cities that have an industrial rail corridor running down the center of a street? I always find that to be so fascinating. Also, if in Highway DLC, they could add cool stuff for, like, little trucker stops. Yeah, like, you know, toll booths, like a border crossing. All that just makes the city feel more real. And it could be, like, revenue generators. That could be, like, a mini game to get, like, you know, crime and, you know, counterfeit goods. You could stop those before they become an issue entering your city, devaluing some of your businesses. It does kind of feel like we're at, like, a TSN turning point here for this game. Like, the sky is the limit with a new developer. Especially if they can get some optimization starting to work. You can really see some new systems start to take hold, you know? Okay, we're getting distracted. We're having great conversation here, but time is never on our side. I just looked over and saw that we're well over an hour into this already, and it feels like we're only 20 minutes in, so... Oh, my days. Okay, so that's not terrifying with how that rail comes through. And then we're going to do the same thing we did before. We'll just gently trench it below, and we'll just kind of see where it wants to end up on its own later. But I do think this interchange is going to be rebuilt. I'll just pause that for a second to sever these connection points. And this is just helpfulness from the Anarchy mod, right? What was your favorite DLC from Cities? When I was, like, a late game player, like, after all the thousands of hours I put in, the Industries DLC, easily one of the greatest things. But if you're a new player, it's lost on you how good that DLC was. So I'd probably say... I would probably say Park Life. Just because it gave you a tremendous amount of, like, customization. And I'm always, like, a big fan of using the trams and all that. And you could Park Life and tram stuff together. I thought that was such a fascinating... Like, just... I don't know if that was intentional or not, but you could create your park zone, and you could snap your park buildings to a tram-only track. And I thought that was such a groundbreaking thought. And then just trying to chase industrial supply chains. Like, that was such a fun thing. It made the city feel so much more real, too. And it gave purpose, right, to what you were working on. Absolutely nailed that one. And they're very close with how it is now with the signature buildings, but it's still not quite, eh? Otherwise, I don't know. I think they did a great job overall with Cities 1. Like, it really is like a pop culture moment. It's like a gem. It's cemented just like how SimCity was. Like, it's a household name, and it feels like it was a game that had a great cycle, and it's like, you know, on the verge of spawning a fantastic sequel, basically. But I just find that Cities 1, it really is like one of those games that's just, it's so up there with how much it's influenced and helped people and brought people to gaming. And like, just, you know, changes the thought process, even how you just look at your own city in real life. You know what I mean, you're sitting in a park on a bench just thinking about, like, you know, someone made this, eh? Economically, I think 2 is easier than 1. Fascinating. I find that to be the opposite. I find 2 late game to be, like, you know, easy as apple pie when it comes to money, but I find 1 to be easier to start with. 2, like, some of the buildings just don't make sense. You put down, like, 1 school early on, and, like, you've entirely pooched your budget, which doesn't seem accurate. And I don't get, like, the small rural size, like, appropriate assets to kind of, like, help with that. I also like the park zones and putting in a little toll booth. Well, I mean, you know, if you want to make some cash money that way, you could do that, right? And then in real life, you can absolutely separate traffic with policies, right? And so this game is lacking policies. So maybe like a policy DLC is what I want to see, right? I don't know. It just feels like, yeah, this game is starting to get some attention. Sky is the limit. And then the new company is taking, like, feedback from the community, so onwards and upwards. Okay, so that's got to go a bit lower if we're going to be avoiding the rails there. And then I think, like, you know, if ever you're drawing a blank on, like, what does the city need? Well, what does a real city have that we don't already have in here, right? And that can be, like, an amusement park. That could be a zoo. Maybe you have, like, an expo center. Like, Con DLC, eh? TDX Con. Come into a city skylines near you. Like, Concerts DLC was really fun in the first one, right? I mean, like, plan for it, advertise for it, get security and stuff. That was nifty. Policies need to be base, not a DLC. 100% agree with you. But then, like, where are the policies now, right? This just seems like it's like, oh, dear. Just so confused, eh? Like, maybe 4 or 5 times this. And then let me add some to, like, districts, right? It just still feels like this game is early access. That's what I'm trying to say. And hopefully we're getting a bit more concrete ideas and stuff out of it now. How do we feel, eh? How do we feel about this? I don't know. I don't think I dislike it, but I'm still not quite there yet with it, eh?
Using here at the station, we found a note the other day. The note must have been at least 100 years old and said, "The rise of factories in cities drew people from rural areas seeking employment." I was
What
one
on
of
earth is this host talking about?
Let's change,
eh? Let's go to vibe. No, smooth beat. And so let's cut that road out. That has to maybe sneak in with a curvy to here. And then we have maybe one of them go to the outside, and we could have like a people stop here too. And then it leads into cargo. That's a cool thought. Industrial rail is normally the priority in North America. You might have some overlap for a lot of the lines, but very rarely is there like a people only line, which is kind of weird to think about. We need a theater and production show DLC, like opera. Yeah, that's kind of like, you know, a different take on the concerts, right? That's stuff that real cities have. Art and culture. Or at least you hope they do. Otherwise, what is this all for, people, you know? Okay. Get that angle, bring that down. Come on. I'll go 179, it's close enough. Oh, you know what's so funny is I meant to just do, oops. I meant to do that. That's okay. All right, bring that down. That's probably not too bad. Bring those ones down to a smidge. There you go. And again, Anarchy mod saves the day. It just makes this so much cleaner, right? When you're doing your hill transitions. And then this can be terraformed, which is cool. So from ground to smoothiness transition. That's nice. And it gets rid of that, like, weird, you can see through the whole, you know, earth. That little blue boundary edge that just lets you peer into the void. Yeah, you can see it right there, eh? Trying to avoid that. Moments like that, like the uncanny valley, is kind of like too real for me there. Guys, don't forget liking the video. It helps out, eh? If you haven't already. And if you want to be a gem, just go smack the like button on all of our more recent streams. Above and beyond, if you want to even drop some comments or something, eh? Answer some comments from some other people. I'm very appreciative of any and all support, and that's some great ways to help support. I always advocate for you guys not having to, like, spend money or anything like that, you know? May engagement. Let's go. No, retain. Why is that not, yeah. I'm just gonna pretend that worked. Okay, now that one to the other side. Just for the smoothness to look correct. That's not bad like that. Oh, yeah, that's not bad, eh? I am very much digging this chill radio station here. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that portion and we'll redo. You did not. Whoops. This game needs undo so badly, doesn't it? There's some stuff you can undo with the movement mod, but that's a soul-crushing moment right there, isn't it? Wrong way. There you go. No, that's okay. That is okay. Oh, street festivals. That's a cute idea, too. I like that, eh? Yeah, I almost feel like you gotta pop some of these into, the city's, like their Discord or something, eh? Or, like, get in touch with them on social medias. And Iceflake is actively, like, listening to the community. That's so cool, man. I feel like if any other company was trying this, like, I don't think I'd be as optimistic. And I don't think they'd be able to pull it off. But, like, we're watching in real time history being made. Like, game companies don't historically change, you know, like, developers midway through their cycle and pull off a win. Die Hard. What up, dude? I am just enjoying the Friday. I'm a little bit, like I'm just, like, too zoomed in almost. I don't know. I'm really enjoying this, though. But as far as, like, what's being built, we just slowed right down, eh? I added, like, a small extension to over here, which started to kind of come together nicely. And we're adding, like, a very cute little small town suburb pocket, farming town. And that out of nowhere has led to this, like, massive push for, like, trying to make some of the bigger pieces here make sense before I commit further. And so we're just out of nowhere piecing together a bunch of rails, which is kind of like, huh. And I'll see how I feel, but I might pull some of these up. But I am trying to just get, like, bigger portions of the city, like, just, like, the framework done, and then we fill it in. So as I zoom out, I don't think it looks terrible here, but it's a oh boy, a bit of a mess, eh? Yeah, rural farming, it just seems like I don't know. I struggle from going from, like, big density to the outskirts? Like, how do you kind of get there? And then what do you find at the outskirts? So, planted some more trees. We learned that we can actually go outside with the trees too, which is cool. MJ Haas, I just love trains. I literally love trains. I think we need to play one of our train games on stream a few times over here. So if you had asked me ahead of time what would have been done by an hour and a half in, I'd be like, oh, well, of course, the downtown campus and all this other stuff, but apparently not. But that's okay. You know, we'll get there eventually. And the more I'm seeing this, the more it's getting nifty. It's all the layers, all the pieces, right? And then we have this cute little downtown Terminus station. It's actually a Deutsche Bahn one. Where is this one from, eh? Oh, it's a Woolworth. Oh, that's funny. Via Oberstdorf. Deutsche Bahn. Bahnhof de Jahres. Okay. So, Jahres Station. I have no idea where that is, but Bahnhof is station. No hurry in building. I joked earlier, but like Rome is still being built right now, eh? They're building like a metro or something. But yeah, I don't know. I am just kind of worried that, like, I'm going to feel like, oh, yeah, dude, so jazzed, thumbs up, we did it. And then I'm going to load this up on Tuesday and be like, what on earth was I thinking? And just, I'm going to try not to, because we did that so often in our Let's Play series. And then getting these two now to talk, that's kind of the goal. And I did say at some point we will just kind of, like, end with working on the campus, so I'll drop a few buildings and stuff down there. And then we're going to want to probably figure out transit, I think, for the downtown a bit more as a whole. Oopsies. That was supposed to be a bridge. Is production revenue using trains or transportation? You can make money from it. I see that, though, as an investment in trying to tackle traffic. Because if you don't put a train line in, everyone's going to come from the region with like trucks and cars and stuff. So we can save, traffic that way. And we can just load more onto one train than we could say onto like stacks of trucks. And then as part of like our transit story, we want everyone on the same team here. And trains are fantastic team members. And then historically, trains for North American cities are going to be like a lot more priority for industrial. Unfortunately, the people are the afterthought. And so we're going to try to like stay true to that, but at the same time, like hybrids, we have some people usage too. And is that the bottom track? That's the top track. Okay. And then just for like fun ideas and stuff, right? Like I was saying, Sharana has a western part of the city has a rail corridor that's elevated, and one of the tracks was removed, and they put in an elevated bicycle network the whole way. Very, very fancy, but also like simplistic, right? So I think something like that might make sense in here too. Subway's great. Like Subway is so good at getting you from like one end of the city to the other very quickly. Like buses and trams for like short distance. Trains are kind of like if you're going from city to city, or if you live like, you know, if your city's big enough that it's like a 1 hour commute from one end to the other, a train might make sense, but trains bring you from the region. Trains are for cargo. And then trains are big and heavy, so they can't quite have stations as close to each other as say like Metro can. Oh, goodness, we're at the incorrect height here. Also, what are you doing? Sorry. Oh, my goodness. I was on a good monologue. I'm sorry. Yeah, well. And then you guys watching this as the VOD. Hello. Feedback, always. Just because you're not watching it live, that doesn't matter. Always open for suggestions. It's kind of cool. And then friendly reminder, it's Tuesday mornings and it's Friday mornings. We start with some YouTube, And then we head over to Twitch. And I am not offended if Twitch is not your thing. That's kind of what these streams are for, you know? It's for you. So thanks for checking them out, eh? And of course, if you do have questions, and I happen to be live, like pop in and ask me anything you want on Twitch. A bit more of like a hangout place, you know? We're trying to learn things to make better YouTube content.
The hip-hop gran here, keeping you youngins up to date on what's
Oh
going
my god. I cannot with these radio show hosts. They were so much better in the previous one. These guys are good, the news team, but... Oh my heaven. Jur, hello, welcome in. Missed a spot? What, trees or terraforming or... I don't need these to be in the exact same spot, but having the pillars in the same spot helps a bit with my realism. Oh gosh, that's such a thought, isn't it? I do like the idea of that though, my friend. Yeah, okay. So how would we do that in this environment? What if we put those in? And then I deleted and then redrew. In theory, the spacing should be correct, right? Aha, but in application they are not. One of these things is not like the other, eh? I thought it was Tuesday, Thursday. No, I mean, I can change it. Like, we're still in a state of flux, really, right? We can have votes and stuff, but... I also argue we're still early enough that what even is our schedule? Now, does that solve my pillar problem? Ooh, it does. That's clean. Those ones being a little bit off, not the end of the world. Just gotta have the help from the sidewalk, it looks like. And, you know, we'll kind of see how it goes, but I am very tempted to add a another day to our stream roster over here on YouTube, just to get a bit more variety. So I think, like, Skylines is our bread and butter. It's what you're kind of, like, expecting, or, like, games like this, but... if we're only playing this, how do we play other games, right? That's not bad, but there's just still something about it, eh? I think it's the curve isn't quite right. It's almost like I need that to be like a 45-degree angle a bit more. Or like the curve starts maybe like one street back. There you go. So I did a thing. I made another server. Is this for the eco? Eco and Windrose. No way. I've been playing in Drogon's server. We just tried that yesterday for the first time, actually. Okay, so I like how that goes, and that'll be how we go up from here. Okay. And that can be a bit more gentle. Yeah, I didn't mind it. I found it to be fun as well. It just doesn't seem like what I was expecting. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really scream like piracy to me. It screams like we're playing The Sims or like an MMO. I was expecting like a bit more like pick up and go, like Sea of Thieves. Especially for being like PvE, you know? Like I don't need to build like a fortress or a home first, really. I don't know. Rated as a survivor game. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It feels a bit like Ark and Valheim together, and that's not a bad thing. Let's curve that a little bit more smoothly. It just depends on who you're playing with. We have a small group, and I'm just kind of like set up down the beach for them to kind of like get some of the early player vibes kind of going, so I understand a bit more. But like, you know, like the tutorial is like, all right, let's go ahead and build your workbench, and you're like, got it. And then it's like, all right, let's build some shoes, and you're like, cool. And it's, oh, your workbench has to be inside, and you're like, oh, okay. And then it just takes you on this like wild tangent. You have to go build this like house, and then it's like, oh, it needs a roof, and you're like, oh, for goodness sake, you know? Here you go. Oh, it's not bad. I just wasn't. I wanted to like go, you know, shoot cannons and be a pirate, right? I went in blind as well, which is why I think my expectations aren't quite matching what I was hoping for. But I'm not like unenjoying it. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. But I would continue with it though. All right, that's cool. That's not too bad, eh? That's not too bad. Holy heck, man. All right, I'm going to put the speed back on. We were pausing because I was disrupting our highways. I was needing to, like, redo our connections, but I think we're good. We have made a substantial amount of money, especially relative to how many tiles we've bought. That's really cool. But I am just being a bit of a bad boy, and we're building here without buying more of the tiles. So I should kind of, like, finish these ones off. Yep, perfect. We have enough for that. Just so I can't really be accused of cheating, you know what I mean? Oh, that Jedi, man, he plays a strong game, but you know he cheats, right? Ow, he uses anarchy. Oh, really? Yeah, I know, I can't believe it, eh? You think you know somebody. Oh, man. I was just about to say, I wish we had the option to, like, parallel road as we're going, but we do have that option. Why didn't you take that? I don't know. Oh, heaven. To complain about stuff that's, like, in the game. Okay, that curve ended up being much nicer than the other one. So if we can simulate that on the other side. And then I'm gonna maybe turn us back to 3-speed for a second here. Let's try to get like a landmark or something that's gonna be very expensive that I'm gonna complain about cost-wise, but it'll look nice in the downtown. And that way we can kind of say like, oh yes, we actually did some work on the downtown today. Like, that's not really work. And I'll be like, well, close enough, right? Well. Choo-choo, baby. I choo-choo choose you. Something went wrong here. I do like trains, though. And then for anybody that knows, Railroads Online, that's what I was considering just popping in for some fun over on the YouTubes. Why are you so close together? I don't know. Oh, maybe we went to that node, that's why. I also just realized we're not the correct height for this. So, ugh. Yeah, that's why. Easy fix. Oh, I keep forgetting that the movement mod does have a bit more features these days. We can actually go into our toolbox. We can align to an object height. And we can say like that height. Yes? No? Oh, it did work. Okay. No, I mean, well. Okay. I've seen worse. We can adjust that a little bit later, too. I need to work on my calendar. Like a stream schedule calendar, or just... I feel like that one maybe converges into that, or this one goes down and then off to, like, the right. And we might have a track that maybe follows along the highway. That's a cool thought. Okay. Yeah, I like that, eh? Can't really afford to put that in now, but we'll leave that one open. Okay. And all right, we have just enough time that we can put a bit of effort into our downtown here. I've kind of been like narrow focused on like the outskirts of town. I was hoping for a bit more built out there, but just really quickly, since there's so many icons, let's take a quick look at our snapshot here. So electricity, we are importing. We do need to produce more domestically. Not the end of the world. Our budget can support the import. Water, same idea. Not too bad. Not too bad. Could be producing a bit more, but not too bad. Healthcare, definitely we're going to want to beef up our new spot here for our cute little small town friends. That's 90,000. That's not a bad shout for right there. A little clinic. Yeah, that's cute. And then small town police station. As long as this is not too expensive. No, that's not too bad. Oh, police station's nearby. Fire is already nearby. Oh, that's so handy. School is not, though. Right. I'll give you guys a cute little elementary school to start, but high school and stuff eventually. Stream schedule calendar, too many good updates and games coming out. I like the idea of that, eh? Having a few events planned for kind of like upwards of like a month out. Okay, so forest fires, that's not great. Education. Well, education's not terrible. It's starting to come around a bit here. Elementary school could use a bit of a boost as well. And then as far as I know, there is a big update to the education system coming in the next patch as well. Yeah, that's a cute spot there, eh? Variety, baby. It is the spice of life, and it has a bit of an older feel to it, which is nice for the going to the waterfront here, eh? Been watching while doing some stuff around the house, but I gotta head to work. I appreciate you, Steve. You have a great day. Happy Friday. Thanks for keeping us company. Onwards and upwards with our city here. You see that trailer for that bus driving game coming out at the end of April? Is that the one called Busbound by the people that do SnowRunner? That game looks wild. I played the demo.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay. Yeah, so school we know is good. Public transit is kicking butt. We love that. And then mail. Oh, brother. Communications. Oh, brother. We gotta work on that then. Otherwise, it's not too bad, eh? That's not too bad. I'm not sure why we're still so unhappy up here. Oh, the buildings. This is from disasters. I don't have a disaster relief building to check those. Oh, that was a... What did you just delete? I don't know. That was an actual building. Oh, dear. Oh, no. No. You're okay. You're okay. It was zoned. But yes, if we build a disaster relief center as part of our like firefighters, they'd be able to like come check out and then process the scene, and then we could rebuild. I don't like when there's no pathway for the people, but... Yeah, that game I'd be very interested in playing. Anything that's kind of like transit or like, you know, city adjacent, like trains, buses, trams, boats, like all that stuff should be making its way onto the stream eventually. All right. We are going to buy some signature buildings. We're not buying them, but... No, what do you want? You wanted to buy your landmarks, you goober. Oh, yeah, that's right. 3.2 million. Wow, these are very expensive. Notre Dame. See, this is the kind of stuff that needs to be in like the old part of the downtown as well. What about tourist attractions? Observation tower, lighthouse, that's cute. Art museum. Art museum we could afford. Art museum we could definitely afford. Okay. That's kind of good to get some art and culture. Maybe that's near the stadiums. The public transit over to this area can kind of be like a team. All right, well, why don't you 3-speed for a second, and let's try to get some more zoning done. A little bit of cash in here, and then we'll plop that down, and that just might be it for time. And I think we're all over the place in, I want to say conservatively, a good way today, but I don't really know if I got accomplished what I kind of set out to do. But then I don't really know what that is, other than just kind of like building and having fun with you guys, so. And I think the rail stuff is pretty strong. We'll look at it after, like, you know, good night's rest, and we'll kind of see how we feel, if it's still hitting the same, you know, checking the same boxes or whatever, but a gentle change to that might happen, but I think we made a really good start with it, though. And if you guys have any thoughts, I am all ears right now, too. Otherwise, thank you for hanging out. Oh, high density. That's cool. That's not high density, though, right? That's the... oh, there's high density. Well, in my mind, there would be some, like, condo towers absolutely close to the downtown, right? This industry is on the way out, so why don't we throw in a little people neighborhood right in here. And then kind of to go with our same thought here, if you guys have suggestions for games that you'd be interested in, you just let me know, eh? We can do maybe like a big posting that has like a poll or something too. Oh yeah, look at that, eh? And some urban promenade, sure. Yeah, that demand just gets eaten up very quickly. But these are going to be bringing in quite a few citizens. All right, a little bit of demand for some low-density housing, which we're loving the look of. And then 1.2 million. That's not bad. That wasn't too hard to get there. I've noticed quite a few times the comment about being able to like adjust the zoning with this button. It's not quite what I want. Like if I wanted to keep the zoning squares for say the 2 of them, but have that top part be like attached elsewhere, that's kind of what I'm going for when I do this, right? It resets the zoning tiles. So I wish like that was vanilla. You can just choose how far out they go, but I do see that comment, so in case you're like, oh, Mr. Jedi, sir, did you know? Well, I do know, but I always appreciate the thoughts. Knowledge is power. Sharing that power, that's cool. Empower yourself. Get some knowledge going. And maybe this is a little cutesy little storefront right there, eh? Yes, art museum. Cool, art and culture. Speaking of knowledge, right? There you go, that's really nice. I like that you can see through the building. I feel like that kind of is like a cutesy, like, imagine you're like a lucky duck right here, and then your view to the waterfront, you still have it, eh? That's kind of cool. Nice little spot. Wow, I didn't even notice up there, eh? These balconies. That's cool. Little cafe spot or something, you know? And then what else do we get with this? A University Park. Oh, that's rather lovely. Oh, that could just actually go right over here then, eh? Green space is a very important thing. We center that with our entrance over here. Oh, I don't think I can actually adjust that individually, can I? No, it's going to be part of the whole park here. I'm going to maybe just gently move that over, just so it seems like a bit more centered. Yeah, that's good. And then some high density around that. Maybe that can be like student housing too. And then we definitely want, like, big public transit vibes down here. So if nothing else is maybe just placeholder to start, why don't you toss down one of our bus stations in here? That's a cute one. Yeah, the transit empire is growing. Oh, can you park on the roof? Wow, that's cute. No way. Oh, that's really cute, eh? How do you get to there, then? Oh, I mean, that's cool, but that just seems a little bit excessive, eh? You gotta drive, like, across the, Huh, I don't know how I feel about that. It just seems dangerous. Like, I like it, but, like, are you driving across the benches? Do you go in this way? Huh. Let's see that one in action, eh? And then down here is going to be our King Street pilot project, as we're going to dub it. And that's going to be a tram priority. So we're going to pick one of the roads here, but we're going to make it so the cars can't go straight and they can't turn left. They're going to have to turn right at the end of every block, but the trams can continue to go straight. So we'll get services and whatnot through it, but it's going to be massive focus on transit, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then what's some other cool stuff we can put down here, eh? Oh, a citizen service center. That's a beautiful looking building as well. Good for the downtown vibe. Fits very nicely right there. Holy smokes, eh? And then let's get a parking lot over here too. And bicycles. Oh my gosh, these are so expensive, eh? I'm gonna put that the block behind. I was tempted to take out a loan for that, but let's try to avoid the loans. Instead, I'm gonna just zone a smidge more industry here for the taxpayers, but days are probably numbered for that. And we'll just squeeze in a little bit more people if we can too. One of your packs, there's a sports store the size of a Bass Pro Shop. Really? I think I know that one, eh? That's one of the content creator packs. Okay, one more block of people here. Otherwise, I think our time is starting to get away from us. I know. I don't know how that just happens, though, does it? This does, though, doesn't it? Okay, so next stream, we're going to be definitely moving onwards and upwards with just, like, filling in the small towns, the little farming suburb that we got going on. We need to do a bit more work on some beautification. I'm kind of noticing that, like, a lot of these backyards and stuff could benefit from some trees. We could try making, like, little walking paths back here, too. I have to schedule some time for that, so we can kind of do, like, quadrants of the city at a time, but if we end up letting it go, like, for too long, it'll feel too intimidating to try. It'll be like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do, but we'll see how it goes. But this has somehow been 2 hours. Like, I have a tremendous amount of fun just hanging out, chatting, spending time with you all making this. But if we make the episodes a little bit too long, then they're too intimidating as well to pick up, and we want people to watch this. So I will end it here, even though I really want to keep going. I like how the downtown is unfolding. I was kind of hoping for a bit more of that today, but the rail is an important piece. Good to see some more of that coming into play. Drogan, it's been fun having you, man. Industry shaping up. Needs the port. Needs a bit more of a push for the trains, though. But this is starting to make sense, though, eh? The train corridors. It's fun seeing the trenches. It's fun seeing all the traffic still be pretty functional through here. And I just feel like I had that problem with the highway when we first started, right? There weren't enough pieces to it to kind of sell me on it. And I think even just kind of taking this little zoom around right here, I'm getting more sold on this infrastructure. And the goal is to kind of make it feel like the rail was there a lot earlier and that had some gentle adjustments so we could accommodate some, like, highways and whatnot. But the overall feel of the city, I think we're nailing it. Just taking so gosh darn long, but that's okay too in itself, right? Well, you drop me your thoughts. I appreciate you all hanging out. Look forward to some comments, and then we're back again in a few days. And then if you guys have thoughts too on maybe like a different day or a different game, I'd be all ears for that too. Otherwise, this is Imperial Jedi checking out from Canada, wishing you the best. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you guys again soon.